Okie dokie. Right. So, like I said, I want us to do just activity 1. The last time we met, I think it was online though. The last time we actually were together for this model, it was online. And we were just doing the mean, the mode, the median, first quartile, third quartile, all right? And then the range, variance, and standard deviation. And a lot of you guys were like, I didn't do your ads, you know, so what we did was almost 141. Now I just want to show you that here, they really don't ask basic person, okay? Or just want to show you that it's not the I'm going to say 141 in the manual. So there was activity 1 has seen as fitness and ways. I don't know if we'll even be able to work on this. Sometimes I really, I don't think we'll. Okay. So for A, there, fortunately, it's just one question that we're using the same numbers throughout. So it says the following data indicates the ages of a sample of 10 employees of company 24, 21, 43, 24, 47, 29, 33, 28, 51, and 42. Okay? Then it says complete the following statistical measures. Okay, the mean. Interpret your answer. Okay? We know the mean means the average. Okay? Now, I know in your textbook or your manual, should I say, they have all sorts of funny, well, not funny, but they have a formula there that looks, oh, ooh, what's going on? Literally there, we just want the sum divided by the total number of values that we have. So already we know this is for 10 employees. So all we're doing there is adding each of those amounts there, 34, 21, 43, okay, and then dividing by 10, because we know that those are 10 values that we've been given there, or 10 ages that we've been given, all right? So that's all I want you then to do over there. Okay, guys, so you know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave this screen alone because it's not interested in my agenda today. Maybe we'll actually be able to put it up. Yeah, live. Okay, so when you add all those up, what do you guys get? How much? So we get 366. Oh my goodness, I actually was going to put 330. So 66, and then obviously divided by 10. Okay, then that should give you 36.6. Okay, so that's your average age. Okay, that's all that you need to interpret there. That's what we D, it is the average. Okay, then we move on to the next one, D. They want us to calculate the mode. What do we know the mode to be? The most occurring, period. Okay, and which one there is the most occurring? Which one do we see most frequently? 34. Okay, So here's our answer there. Okay? Not rocket science, not bad at all. Okay, then we can move on to the next one. C. What's happening with C? That middlemost value. Okay. So we have to put them in order. I was about to ask. Alright, can we operate without doing anything? Can we operate immediately to get our answer? No, we can't. So the smallest number I see there is 21. The next one is 28, yes. 29, 33, 34, and 34 again. And next is 47, right? 43. 46. And 51. Okay. Cool. So now that we have them in order, what next? Do we have a formula for the median? What's the formula? Is it? Yes? Okay. So I don't know. For me, when I look in your textbook, the formula that they gave, after putting them in order, is actually n plus 1 divided by 2. N is the number of variables or number of values. Yes. So then we would then progress to say 10 plus 1, which obviously gives us 11. So 11 divided by 2. Then obviously gives us 5.5. Okay. Then we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. Then obviously since this thing is not an even number, they then take both of these, and I think that's where your thing now comes in. So they're taking the two middle numbers, and then they're dividing it by, otherwise we would have just selected one, so we're saying 34 plus 34 over 2, which obviously gives us then the 34. Okay. I don't know if your formula would have also worked. Do you want to try it out? So what did we say? We said the smallest minus the biggest. Two middle most. Okay. Okay. So we would have gotten there visually, basically. Okay. Cool. Yeah, then I think, yeah, it would be, because then it's divided by 2. But clearly here there's more than one way to actually calculate it. I will see, because then why are we putting it, well, no, it is right that we put it in order, stuff like that, because we want to see. But yeah, so I guess so, if the two were actually different numbers. So if we had, for instance, 36, well, the average there would probably be 35, actually. But yeah, maybe if we had 35, for example, yeah. So yeah, I think maybe that's worth googling, just double check to say, can we get a decimal median? Let's do that just to double check. Yes, that's what we want to verify to say, would that be correct? But whilst we verify that or have a look at that, we then go on to the next one, which is D. And in D, there they are asking us for the first quartile. That's what they want us to calculate. All right. And there again, we're using the same values. So again, first thing that we would do is to put them in order from smallest to biggest. Okay. Then we would then also say, what is the formula for your first quartile? And here you then say n plus 1 divided by 4. Is that correct? Is that the correct formula? Okay. Because remember, quartiles is in quarters. Okay. So n again is number of variables. Okay. So again, we're going to have 11, but that's this time divided by 4. And that gives us what? 2.75. Okay. Cool. So then, what we then need to do is we need to go back and we then need to say, okay, we have our first value, we have our second value, all right? But then we need 0.75 of the difference between our second and third value, okay? So let's quickly then do that. We then say 28, so basically it's 28 plus, okay, 0.75 of 28, or let me say 29 minus 28, okay, which is obviously 1. And then you're going to get times 75, which is 1 times 75, you get 75. Okay, then plus 28. So your final answer will be 28.75. So our first quartile, what does that mean? Yes? You can get decimal. All right, so we would be correct. All right, thank you so much. So is everybody happy with the first quartile? Now, somebody give me the interpretation. What does this 28.75 mean for us? What does it mean? Not the average, not the median. Median is 4.6. What we're saying is that the first quarter of our data falls between or falls from, it's either equal to 28.75 or less. The first quarter of the data that we have, or the values that we have, fall between 28.75 or less. Does that make sense? First quarter, first quartile, first quarter. All right. Then the next one, they're asking us third quarter. All right. So here the formula is 3n plus 1 divided by 4. Okay. So pretty much the same thing. It's just now we're saying times 3. So remember when we calculated this, what did we get? Let's see. We got 11 times, so 11 times 3, what are we going to get? We're going to get 33 divided by 4. And what do we get? 8.25. So again, we go back to our values, 8.25. And we say, okay, we know this is 5, so this is 6, this is 7, and this is an 8. All right, 0.25. So again, we're going to look for the difference between these two numbers here. So then we say, okay, we're saying 46 plus, 0.25 times 47 minus 46. Again, that's 1, so that's going to give you 46.25. Okay, so what is this telling us? What does this, we've now calculated our third quartile. What does it tell us? How do you interpret this figure? This 46.25? So in other words, remember every quartile is a quartile. So if we're looking at the third quartile, how many quarters are we looking at? We're looking at 3 quarters. So what are we saying? We're saying what percentage was you didn't just say 86, but we're saying 3 quarters of what? If you were to 46.25. Remember the first one we said 28.75. The first quarter of our numbers will fall between 8.75 or less. So here we're saying 3/4 of our data is going to fall between 46.25 or less. Does that make sense? Okay, 3/4 is the same as saying 75%. In the first quarter, we would have said 25% of all our values is equal to 28 or 28.75 or less. So you could also say 75% here if you wanted to. Okay. 4 cents back. So that's that. Then here they're saying the 33rd percentile. Interpret your answer. The 33rd percentile. So how do we do that one there? How do we do the 33rd percentile? So percentiles and quartiles, we treat them pretty much the same. Okay? In other words, here they're saying 33% of our values. What do they fall under? All right? So we then need to say, okay, cool. We need to say n plus 1, okay? Then times that percentile of 33. No, sorry, I lied. We say that, and then what do we do? Yes, I have to tell the truth. Times then your 33 percentile, or whatever percentile they've given you. Does that make sense? So then we say, again, we know this is equals to 11 because we had 10 values, and then plus 1, obviously 11. So 11 then times 0.33, what do we get? We get 11.363. Again, we use this number to then look at our values in order. And we say, okay, 1, 2, 3. And then we know this is going to be, between these two numbers, we're going to be taking 63% of it. Okay, so that's 33 minus 29. So we're saying here, what is the third number? 29 plus, I'm going to say 0.63, and then times 29 minus 33 minus 29, which is 4. Okay. Then somebody times 63, 0.63, sorry, times 4, what do we get? 2.52 plus 29, what do we get? 0.5. 52. So what is this telling us? What is the interpretation of the information in front of us? %33 of our 10 values, yes. Mm-hmm. 100%. Simple as that. Okay? You've done all the hard work in terms of calculation. It's just now interpreting it. Okay? Thank you very much for that. Okay. So that now was F. The next one was G. And G is the range. Oh, range. This is now where we look at the highest and the lowest. And we say, what was the difference between the two? So the one. And the lowest was 21. So then the range is 30. And there's our answer. Okay, my screen is going out now. 30 is our answer. Okay. Then last two. And the hardest two is then your variance. Now here, this is where, okay, you have to apply it a little bit, just in terms of understanding the formula. Once you have the formula, then you'll be fine, okay? And when I say understanding the formula, I just mean you must know the formula, and then you obviously then can input the data. So the formula for variance, S, that's your symbol for variance. And then here, this big E is basically just the sum of the square root, all right, minus, oh my God, n divided by n minus 1. Okay. Right. So if you look there, now just for the interest of time, let's just look, if you flip the page to 143, you'll see how they calculated your variance. Okay. So first things first, you need to add up. Can you see there? You need to get the sum of your variables. Can you see that first column where there's x? I'm on page 143. Are we all there? Can you see x there? They're just adding up the sums. Remember I told you that big opposite E is sum. That's what it means. Okay? So the sum of x, in other words, the sum of your variables, okay, equals 366. We calculated this earlier. Okay? Then the next column, they are square rooting each variable first, and then they're getting the sum of that. So what they did is they said, the first variable we know is 21. They said, okay, cool. For the second column, we're going to say 21 times 21. And what do you get? Quickly punch that in the calculator. I want to verify. Is what? 441. Okay, so that's exactly how they got all those amounts there. Then obviously they got the sum of that as well. So then, can you see now, in your formula over here, you want the sum of x squared. So can you see, I want to do it in such a way you can see the formula as we go about it. Let me erase this now. Color. So the sum, as you highlighted, good sir, was 441. No, sorry. I'm taking the sum of all the square roots. So that's 14,242. Okay. Then I'm minusing. Can you see there it says n, right? In other words, the number of variables, which we know are 10. Okay, and then now this dash, I'm wondering why they have this dash square roots here. Let's quickly just look at variance in your manuals. I'm sure they explained what is that. Oh, so that dash n is the mean. Okay. So remember we calculated the mean in the very first calculation we did was the mean, and we got 36.60. But remember here, can you see in the formula, they say squared, the mean squared. So that's why we put a to the power 2 over there. Okay? So that's what's happening over there. And then finally we say divided by n minus 1. We know n is the number of variables, again, which is 10, minus 1, which is then 9. Then obviously you punch this into your calculator, and then you should get your variance. Okay, so this is actually the most challenging calculation that you need to do, but it's only challenging if you don't know the formula. All right, once you've mastered the formula, trust me, I don't think this should be a headache for you. Okay, and then obviously you master having put those two tables together, you should be good to go. Okay, then because look now, the answer here that you should get, and you guys can all see it there in your manual, is 94.04. Now, for the standard deviation, how do you calculate standard deviation? It's literally just the square root of your variance, which we know is S2. So in other words, the square root of this 94.04. Can you see that? 94.04. So standard deviation is the square root of your variance. So if you can calculate variance, all you then need to do to get your standard deviation is to square root your variance. Okay? And you are done. That is your unit 5 from a calculation perspective. If you want to do activity, in fact, I suggest you do it. Do activity part 2 of activity 1. That is it's the exact same thing, but now they've just changed your percentile. All right? And they've given you different values. Okay? Any questions? Yes? Definitely, you get marks. And yes, yeah, I am sure you have to show your work. I can't tell you how many marks you get for it, because I have to list what you're thinking. So you don't have any marks. I'm sure that you don't have any marks. But I'm sure it probably would be one of your, it would probably account for a lot of marks. Okay, so that is it from my side. Oh, oh wow. One second.